Before all of that, though, let's have a chat with a couple of very special guests. Let's start, shall we, with our club ambassador. We know him, we love him. I'm running out of things to say about him. Some of them are funny, some of them are not so funny, but he's a lovely, lovely man. It's the one and only Dean Windass, ladies and gents. A round of applause for Dino. Dino, good to see you. You're all in black, but you're looking well. Are you okay?
Yeah, we've got to wear black now. So I'm doing as my toll for once.
Nobody told me. I've got my purple tie on. I thought I'd be happy, Dino.
Yeah, but I'm important for this football club. It doesn't matter about you, does it?
I can't swear, there's kids in. And a special guest from Arsenal, ladies and gents, very special guest as well. He led his side to a League Cup victory in 1987. 394 games, I think he played for Arsenal, if I remember correctly. And, ladies and gentlemen, 86 caps for his country, for England. Would you please welcome Kenny Sansom? Kenny, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to have a proper footballer of stature up here with me.
Oh, I don't know what to say today. I'm pleased to be here. Dean gave me a phone call and said, Kenny, are you interested in coming up and doing a bit of corporate side, meeting a few people, having a few photos, sign a few signatures on programmes or whatever. And I said, Dean, I'd love to come up. And he invited me up, so I'm pleased that he's invited me, and it's great to be here.
You're very generous there, Kenny, because I know for a fact that when he rang you up and said, hi, it's Dean Windass, you said, who?
No, I didn't. I knew Dean. Obviously, he's a little bit younger than me. He's about 10 years younger than me, but he was a great footballer, and obviously the famous goal at Wembley, everyone mentions that, but he was a great team player. I think that gets forgotten a little bit, and that's the most important thing. When you play football, especially in my era, and I'm sure it was Dean's era as well, you went out on the football pitch to play as a team player, and that's what Dean was about.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with a man who won 86 caps for England, but I would agree with you there. He was a team player, and he was a very, very good footballer, all joking aside. Thing is, Kenny, he still thinks he is a very good footballer.
Oh, that's his problem. I've got my own problems.
Yeah, well-documented problems, Kenny. We might talk about them in a minute, but I want to talk about some of the fantastic things you've had in your football career, because you did have an amazing football career. Absolutely
unbelievable. I started as a young kid. I didn't play football, funny enough, till I was about 10. We moved to an estate. The estate was a big grass pitch out, and we just trained and ran around as kids. And all of a sudden, when I was 15, I was playing for England schoolboys. It was that quick, 5 years, and I'm playing for my country at Wembley. And most really, that's the most proudest thing I've done, because my mum was so proud, because her mum and dad were wheeled up in wheelchairs to right where the dugout where the manager sits at Wembley at 15 years of age, watching their grandson. So that was most probably my magic moment.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. It's an awful lot of caps, Kenny. 86 until Ashley Cole overtook you. You were the most capped fullback ever for England. But it's an amazing number of caps in an era when I don't think there were quite as many games necessarily as there are now either.
No, it's funny, because I actually played 37 games on the trot without missing. So you're talking about 5 years playing for your country without missing one game. Because I never got injured, because to be honest, I never tackled. My nickname was Kenny Whiteshawls, because I never got them dirty. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to tackle. I tried to nick the ball off people, and I was lucky enough. I played under some great people, Terry Venables, obviously the great Bobby Robson, Ron Greenwood as well. And playing for England, playing for your country is very, very special. And I speak to kids, 12 and 13-year-old kids, and you mention the hand of God, and they all remember it, because I played in that game, and it was most really the most famous World Cup game, apart from '66 when the ball didn't go over the line, but it was over the line. But we're not going to argue with that, are we? So playing for your country is very, very special. I'm very lucky. I had a great upbringing. I will tell the truth, I ruined my life a bit through alcohol and gambling, and I'm trying to get through it, and that's why he asked me to come up here and see if I can do the job, and don't let me down, he said, and I didn't let him down. I turned up, and I'm here, so I'm pleased.
Well, we're pleased too, Kenny, and you're looking well, I have to say. You are looking well. I know you've got a Bobby Robson story you're going to tell us in a minute, but you mentioned the Hand of God game. I just would like to know, I almost don't want to know because we all sort of hated it, but I'm intrigued to know what it was like to, not just to play in the game, but to be involved after the game when you all knew that really he cheated, didn't he?
There was a lot of swear words. I won't repeat them words, I've got to tell you that, but in the dressing room he was very, very angry, and I think one of their people came in and tried to give us some of their training shirts and wanted to swap, and Ray Wilkins, I've never heard him swear, but he swore. He told him where to go, I've got to tell you that. But the funniest thing was that we worked on a free kick the day before, because obviously Bobby Robson had Argentina watched and by a scout, and they played offside, so if there was any free kicks wide, they would play offside. And so what would happen, we worked on a free kick, I would go to take it, I'd backheel it to Glenn Hodder, who was behind me. All their players would run out to try and play offside. All our players were told, and we worked on it for 45 minutes. Our players would all run out, and Gary Lineker would do what they call a U-turn. Dean and I about it as a centre forward, and he'd spin back in and get in and stay on side. So I'd backheel it, the right back would be coming out, Glenn Hodder would knock it over his head, and I'd be in. And it worked like a dream. It was 0-0 the first half. All of a sudden, I've got the ball, Gary Lineker's on the penalty spot, I just got to knock it to him and he knocks it in the back of the net and we're 1-0 up. Stevie Hodge, who was playing because Brian Robson broke his shoulder, was offside. And we got in at half time and Bobby Robson, when he forgets names, he went absolutely berserk. Odgie, what are you doing? We're going, Odgie, what but there was a lot of things being said. Odgie, what are you doing? You're offside. We worked on it for 45 minutes and he sat on the bench. This is the quarter-final of the World Cup. You know what he said? He sat there and went, I'm sorry, lads, I forgot. And that's a true story. He forgot. We couldn't say anything after he said that. He was so honest.
I don't know if you wanted to kill him or Maradona more than in that case.
Yeah, we did at the time. We wanted to, and he got Maradona's shirt after the game. It's worth 250 grand. Someone said, Kev, why didn't you get it? I said, I couldn't catch him. It was too quick. Not could Reed, he could he, but never mind. Poor old Peter Reed. But,
yeah, absolutely. Let's have we could talk about England all day long, but let's just talk about this game a little bit and about Arsenal. I'll ask you in a second, Dean, as well about City. But Kenny, from as an ex-Arsenal player, obviously nearly 400 games, what do you make of Arsenal at the minute?
I don't think they're performing the way they can. They're not creating enough for me, personally. Defensively, you need to improve, because that's where, when Arsene Wenger first joined the club, he had the famous back five. And we defended very well as a team, and I know the old saying 1-0 to the Arsenal and all that stuff. Defensively, we're not strong enough. I think possession-wise, fantastic, but I don't believe in statistics. Possession means nothing to me. If you don't score, you can't win. If you don't concede, you don't lose. And that's, in simple terms, that's an old Brian Clough saying, and I still think it stays in the game today. I'd like to see Arsenal attack a little bit more. Hold defensively are very good. But I think it'll be a test today. I think Arsenal will attack them. I think Hull will score, and I think Arsenal will score. I think it's going to be a draw. I don't want to do a Trevor Brooking and sit on the fence and go, Hull could win, Arsenal could win. Or it could be a draw. You know what I mean? Sit on the fence Trevor, we call him. So no, I think it's going to be an interesting... I think there's going to be goals in the game today.
Where are they going to come from an Arsenal perspective?
I think they're going to come from Giroud if he plays. He's suspended. Well, I think Sanchez, I think, is a very exciting player. I like him. It's going to come from a little bit of play around the box. It's not going to come from crosses.
Are they ruthless enough though? They play. I mean, we all know they play wonderful football, and on the day they'll batter most teams. But they're not ruthless enough, are they? In terms of they play too nice. They play too nicely in terms of the football, and in terms of not banging it in the back of the net instead of making it look marvellous all the time.
No, I think what you would do as a football team, you've got to create chances, and you've got to shoot from the edge of the box. You can't just keep passing it, and obviously that's Arsenal's problem. If they decide and they change it a little bit, someone comes in and tries to change it a bit and get shots from the edge of the box, put the ball in the box. Because Dean will tell you, he's a centre forward, I was a fullback. And if I didn't cross the ball, my centre forward would give me a right telling off. And Dean would do the same. So Dean knows as a striker, you need the ball to be put in the box because then the striker can make his run to go and score, and that's Arsenal's problem at the minute.
Yeah. Dino, for City, it's been a fantastic start to the season. If we win today, it would be the best start in the Premier League. It would beat the start that you and Brownie and the rest of them made in 2007, 2008, which would be amazing. What are the chances today?
Well, the big plus is that Mike's never changed the team really. The first couple of weeks he couldn't, obviously, because of the personnel that he had. He's even brought in obviously 6 signings, and he's not changed it. I don't think he'll change it again today if everybody's with a clean bill of health. But in these games, when I played in these games for Middlesbrough, for Bradford, or whoever you've played, you've got to have 7 or 8 playing well for you in our team. And you've got to have Arsenal have a bit of an off day. Like Kenny says, they're not great. I wouldn't be scared of playing Arsenal today. I would have done when I was playing, because there was crossing balls, there was getting in behind you. They do play in front of you. But when we played was the Bergkamps, the Omris, the Vieiras, the Adams, people like that. So they ain't got that team now. And I agree with Kenny. I think we'll get some out of the game. I think we'll get a draw. But we have 7 or 8 of the lads have to be 8 out of 10 today to get some out of the game. The one thing that you've got to do in this game is not concede early doors. Against the big teams, you can't concede early doors because then you're not going to get the ball back. We went to Arbury when I played for Bradford. Paul Jewell said, if we keep staying in the game for say 50 minutes or whatever, then we've got you have a plan all week to work on. Mike would have worked on all week. They're going to have possession of the football. So then you've got to be patient. You've got to have let them have the ball in the right areas. But as soon as you concede, your game plan goes out the window. So when we went to Arbury, we worked on all week, not to cross balls and they did in them days. They crossed the ball and that. And Vieira scored after 10 minutes. We lost 2-0, it could have been 10. But if you stay in the game as long as you can and we get 8 performers, I think we'll get some out of it.
So does that mean that Mike Phelan sets up today being early on, for want of a better phrase, a bit defensive to try and contain Arsenal a bit?
It's not about defensive, it's about setting up 2 banks of 4 or whatever system he's going to play, 4-3-1 or whatever he's going to play. And he knows that he's not daft enough. He's been assistant manager for Alex Ferguson for 20 odd years. He's played against Arsenal more times than against anybody else. So he'll know that they'll have a lot of possession. And it's how we've got to be patient. The supporters have got to be patient. But then when we get the ball, we have got to make things happen. And as you say, I agree with Kenny. I think we'll score today.
Okay, I hope you're right, Dean. The only thing I will say, ladies and gents, if you are a regular here, you'll know that Dean's predictions are just appalling. I mean, he was a fantastic footballer, he is a lovely fella, but he can't predict a game to save his life.
I've never ever got one right, ever. So 1-1, 50 quid on it.
I think we'd probably take that one, I think we probably would. Kenny, what do you think? You think a draw as well?
Yeah, I think a score draw, I'd say 2-2.
All right, okay. I think we'd take either of those results, I would for what it's worth anyway. But we're going to win, aren't we? Arsenal fans, yeah. Sort of. Let's hope so. I hope you enjoy your day with us, ladies and gents, anyway. I'm Alex Burgess. Please give your thanks to Dean Windass and to Kenny Sansom.